I'm just going to mention stuff randomly as it comes to me. So I'm wearing brown shoelaces, or even tan shoelaces, on my black boots, which I had to get in Silverton because apparently nobody in Portland sells shoelaces anymore. But it was becoming an emergency because the old shoelaces, which I think were OEM shoelaces, were splitting apart to the point where like the inside part was visible and the outside sheath part had come apart, so you couldn't. It was only a matter of time, folks. It was getting really dangerous, and of course, your boots are a key part of your safety gear. So it was a safety dependent situation. In fact, I had to wear my other boots yesterday, my spare boots, my older spare boots down there, because my primary boots were not suitable for the ride because of this terrible shoelace problem. So, and of course, I forgot to tell you the worst part is that. So what's today? It's Sunday. On Friday, I went to a bunch of different places to try and find shoelaces. I went to a supermarket, a pharmacy, a hardware store, and 2 shoe stores, and none of them had shoelaces. At least none of them had the right shoelaces, not even in the right length. And I don't think I'd want to go all the way up to a pair of 72s for these things. That would just be too long. I'd be wrapping them around the back of my, I don't think that's safe. So I went for the 54s down in Silverton. I should have called ahead, really. I should have called ahead to the supermarket where I found them. I should have said, hey, do you guys have the black shoelaces length 54 inches? It might have saved me a trip, but whatever. I lucked out. They happen to have the tan ones in stock. My only concern is that I think these are not waxed, and I might prefer the wax shoelaces. I put waxed shoelaces on my other boots, the boots I wore yesterday, and I think I like them. I like the action better. Like you can tighten them up a little bit better, and they feel like they don't feel like there's as much friction. And I know that that's kind of a two-edged sword regarding what do you call it? Regarding shoelaces. Because what are you trading off? Well, you have, like with a wax shoelace, you're trading off the lack of friction to make it easier to tighten up the laces, but the lack of friction also means that they're more likely to loosen up over time. So that's a problem, but it's also less wear and tear on the lace itself and the eyelet system. So that's important. It's an important consideration. It's a trade-off, right? And I guess this is kind of going to be a good A/B test because I've got waxed shoelaces on my other boots and I've got unwaxed shoelaces on these boots. And what we can do is we can see over time using some kind of a rating system, A, how they hold up, and B, how they are in terms of usability, durability, and intended use. Also, I think it would be a good thing to evaluate whether they whether they stay tied or come untied. So far, I think it's going all right. My shoes feel different with these new laces. They feel, honestly, they don't feel quite as tight, but I'm not sure if that's a bad thing yet. You know, it's like I kind of just got on, just started this ride. You know, it might be that it might, you know, this just might be okay, and it could be that, you know, as the day progresses, your feet swell, and so really, you might even be better off with slightly loose laces at the beginning of the day so that, you know, you don't lose circulation as the day wears on. So that's definitely something to think about. Jury's still out on this. I think it'll take time before we really know for sure, you know, whether these are the right laces or not. For me, really, you might have a different opinion, and you might have different criteria, you know, on like what you look for in a shoelace. For all I know, you might want a shoelace that frays easily and breaks easily. Maybe for, I don't know why you would want that, but who knows, you know. The world is a funny place filled with funny people doing funny things. So where was I? Oh yeah, shoelaces. Right. So this is a gear test of these unwaxed shoelaces, which are the wrong color but the right length for my boots, which I had to get in Silverton because apparently nobody in Portland sells shoelaces anymore, including shoe stores. You could probably go online and, you know, order them from Amazon, but that's kind of partially why stores don't stock that stuff anymore, because it's esoteric, it takes up shelf space, you have more choice and more convenience online. Such a sad world we live in. You have to send away for your shoelaces for a mail order. But the good news is you might get free shipping. This is also a gear test of beyond my shoelaces, which alone would be, you know, enough of a gear test as it is. But I've also dug out some of my older gear, which I thought I'd grown out of, but apparently not, including my Aero Stitch trousers and my first gear, what is this, the Kilimanjaro jacket, I think? Which is a much nicer jacket than the other one, and fits better. And it's adventure style. That's how you know I'm going on an adventure. I'm also wearing these old gauntlet gloves because my tan ones are still wet. They're nice gloves. They're really nice gloves, but they're not waterproof. But so far, the shoelaces, the new shoelaces, are holding up well to their initial test. They are working. Give you a wipe. Wipe your butt. Oh, I never showed you my new shoelaces. Look, that's nice. I'm so proud of them. I must scratch my nose. Oh, it has to be scratched. Always choose the right time to scratch your nose. Oh my God, clipping shoelace update. Everything is going well. So far, so good. I am pleased with the performance of my new shoelaces. Uh-oh. I'm going to sneeze.